Hey guys, I just wanted to make a statement on Mike Patey. So I saw this week that Dave got SCTI for Mike Patey. So that's basically inconceivable. It's like it, it's not Mike Patey's type. He's not TI and he's not FE. The reason I say that is because I know how TI interacts with FE. See, what we do when we combine things together is we say, okay, so we've got DE and we've got feeling, and you put those two together and you get something called FE. In the same way, I'm saying you got TI and you've got FE, and you put those two together, you get something new, and we call it TIFE. And I'm saying, and then Quadra's the same way. You've got TIFE and you've got NISE. You put those two together, you got something called beta Quadra, right? It's just, and when you add more lenses, what that does, it's like you have a bunch of lenses lined up, okay? Like actual glass focal lenses. And let's say you had some way of bringing more lenses into your stack of lenses. What you're trying to do is you're trying to bring a person's type in focus. And when you only have one lens, it might be blurry. So imagine a person's type is like some letters written on a page, and you're trying to use the lenses to zoom in and focus as best as you can so that you can actually see what is written. And there is a moment when you're typing people where the obscurity turns to clarity. I believe that when you add more lenses, when you add quadra, when you add axis, what happens is you get more clarity. So Dave trying to tell me that Mike Patey is an ESTP is like someone trying to tell me that a cow is a horse. Dave is that far behind me. I suspect that what has happened in the community is that the entire community has been dragged for so long by basically Dave and Shan's espionage. I think Dave and Shan at a certain point gave up on basically typing people with any sort of real accuracy. They knew they were not actually arriving at the correct types, and they basically gave up. And what happened is that everyone in the community, I suspect, started to give up too, and started to just go, okay, why don't we just try our best to be exactly and think exactly like Dave and Shan? Trouble is, what that does is it makes typing feel like homework. When I type, I'm excited. I'm really excited to engage with this material. I find this material extremely engaging. To me, it doesn't feel like homework. It hardly ever feels like homework. I believe Mike Patey is Savior FI. He's not Savior TI. And he doesn't have FE. Dave saw some other things, like Dave identified him as a 4. Well, I think Dave should stop using the socials because I don't see how there isn't 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's like saying that there's only such things as an IJ, an EJ, an EP, and an IP, but no jumpers of those. Where are the social jumpers? The reason why I bring that up is because I have some understanding of how genetics works. I know that nature is conservative. So if nature has some parts at its disposal, which it can further use to create more genetic diversity, it will do that. That's in nature's best interest. So the idea that nature would just stop at 4 social types doesn't make sense to me. So the burden of proof is on Dave and Shan to prove the socials exist. And they have not done that adequately, in my opinion. Now, I actually believe in them. I believe in the socials. I'm a believer. But that's not how this works. And we need to be very careful because I see the Facebook community as like a flock. And I see everyone in there as having an enormous amount of potential. when we grow up, because this material is so powerful. So if Dave poisons his flock with deceit because he doesn't actually know that Mike Patey is Savior TI. By the way, I did not watch Dave's video. Dave has been saying that he's a cheater. He's been saying that he's a liar. He's been saying, well, he never said he was a liar, but he says he loves to cheat. So I don't like to hear that. I added some diagrams to my program. So this is a diagram of the saviors and demons. Above is Dave and Shan's definition. Saviors: responsible, obligated, addicted, overdoing. And the demons are blaming, fearful, painful, awkward, and neglected. But my definitions are just very bare bones. And I've extrapolated these after years of being silenced in the community. What became of this is a definition which is closer to the kernel of what I believe saviors and demons actually are, and how we can view them as operators. So they're simply more frequent and stronger. Because think about it, if you're overdoing something, responsible, obligated, and addicted to it, and you're doing it all day from sun up till sundown, and you're neglecting the other half of you, then that means all day from sun up until sundown, that function should be manifesting more frequently than the demons. So everybody can do everything isn't a problem if the saviors are manifesting that much more because a person is so addicted to them. That's why frequency is so powerful for an operator. As an operator, frequency is a very good tool to find saviors and demons. I shouldn't have to go dig into your closet and find all the skeletons in your closet and find the big gotcha moment. It's like basketball. You shoot your shot, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I don't have time to crawl into bed with you like Darren Brown. I don't have time for that. We got to make this work collectively. So we need faster means of discovering the coins. And I advocate that this latter definition it's not as powerful as Dave and Shan's FI consume, but it's good enough. It's good enough. It's like I'm saying, okay, I know Dave and Shan think that you need some amazing NF to discover the saviors and demons. You just have to dig deep into their NF and find where they're all screwed up. But okay, how about we use some really strong and robust ST measurement like frequency? And we'll just try that. We'll just try it. We're just going to try it. And we're going to see how the community does with it. And if our rates of consensus go up, then that's great. By the way, a class consensus would not be an average. It would not be a median. It would technically be a mode. Because when you take a consensus of people's types, all you're doing is you're counting up who got the majority of votes for which coin. So if 10 people got sensor and 5 people got intuitive, then the mode is sensor, and we would consider that the class consensus was sensory that week. So that's how the class consensus would work. It would technically be a mode measurement, which is a statistical term for whichever form of data appeared the most amount of times. So it would be literally like a democratic vote in Congress. That's a mode. That's a measurement of mode. What vote, yes or no, in Congress? Do you vote yes or no? And if 10 people vote yes and 5 people vote no, then the consensus was yes. Even though there wasn't a full consensus, there wasn't a unanimous consensus. That's the trouble with the word consensus. So technically, it would be a mode. And then I made this. So the top is Dave and Shan's. So stuck on info and pathways, not stuck on other point of views as observer and decider. Stuck on people, judgment, fairness, not stuck on missing info. So, okay, that's really good if you're an intuitive. But if you're a sensor, you just want the bare bones of what's going on. So I'm going to put that down. So here it is. I've already put it down. Below, it says stuck on observer 1 and missing observer 2. That's the bare bones, very bare bones definition of what is happening with observer decider. So Dave and Shan have basically applied a lot of NF fairy dust to everything they do because their minds are so, their NF sleep is so strange. But when you take a step back, you say, okay, I've got 4 functions, and one is at the top and one is at the very bottom. So I know that's going to involve a lot of maybe strange emotional swings. I know that's going to make people fearful down here and brave up here. But what if I just kind of left them alone emotionally? What if I stopped trying to strip them naked emotionally? And what if I had a means of finding a person's type without humiliating them, without stripping them naked, without embarrassing them? What if there was a way to type people without having to do all of those extremely intrusive things? So I think there is. It's, oh, you're stuck on observer 1 and missing observer 2. Well, that's really simple. That's really simple. And then you're stable with people and decisions. You can see that. I don't have to gouge out all of your barriers that you've put up. I don't have to tear through the veil. I don't have to undermine your persona that you try to keep up so that you don't feel embarrassed. I can actually leave you with your dignity as a person and still type you. Isn't that beautiful? And again, for my definition, stuck on decider 1 and missing decider 2. It's pretty simple. You're just stuck on the one and you're missing the other. And we don't have to dispense with Dave and Shan's NF definitions. But we need some ST now because their NF, it hasn't been working for the group. And what doesn't work for everyone is obviously probably not objectively true. Okay, so that's about it in terms of what I added. I think I added one more. So I added this just so I can see the animals on the spectrum. It's not interactive. One last thing, I added a tally feature. It's not finished yet, but in my Mike Patey video, I started the video and I said, straight out the gate, this guy said something FI. And I realized watching my video back that a lot of people might have gone, whoa, hold on. You can't take the very first line this guy says and take that out of context. Actually, you can. Because what he said when he said, I like this thing, is something valuable, important, emotional, and a priority. In that instance, remember that word instance for me. Take that word to heart. That word is important to me when typing. If we want to be able to type people with ST and not just NF, we need to understand instances of these functions. So what is an instance of feeling? So I counted that as an instance of feeling. I didn't say that meant he was savior feeling, because savior is the overarching pattern. Savior is, okay, now I know where that function belongs in terms of strength and hierarchical importance relative to the other functions. So I didn't say that he had feeling second when I said what he said fell into the definition of feeling. But the thing is, what he said did not fall into the definition of thinking. And that's the beauty of binaries. If it's not thinking, then it's probably falling into the definition of feeling. So guess what? I don't need all the context in the world. I don't need 8 hours of context. And guess what? I don't need 10,000 types. I don't need to see 1,000 of your type. Because everyone starts with no data. The way Dave and Shan originally built up their data, and mind you, the people they typed in the beginning, they typed the most accurately and precisely and safely. And all those early videos are some of their best videos, because that's before they stopped caring. So you don't need 1,000 people. You just need to do the checklist right. You just need to say, okay, it's not thinking in that instance. So that was an instance of feeling. So what I want to do is add some more of these tallies. So what I would do there is I would say, and then I would label this tally, and I would say, okay, that's just one tally for FI. Just one tally, because I don't have all the context and I don't have all the facts. But if I'm not writing things down, if I'm not marking things down, then I'm not going to notice when every instance has happened. And by the end of it, I'll say, okay, I've got 10 tallies for feeling, and I've got 5 tallies for thinking. So that tells me that this person kind of seems like they're probably feeling instead of thinking. Again, on the basis of quadra and function axes, I strongly disagree with the conclusion that Mike Patey is Savior TI. It just isn't true. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. This is just a response to Dave's typing. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'd be glad to respond to anything I've said here if you feel it's heretical or anything like that, or revolutionary. Anyways, see you guys. Bye.